Welcome into NBA Now. I'm Chase Sr. with Chat Sports, and the NBA trade deadline coming up on Thursday. And here's what we have coming your way here on Chat Sports. We're going to be live breaking it all down on YouTube. Wednesday, Harrison Graham and myself will be live at 4 o'clock Eastern. And then on Thursday, we're going to be live again as all of the trade news comes in. We're going to bring you all of the latest news, rumors, trades, and information going on all across the NBA. So be sure to subscribe to our main YouTube channel at youtube.com/chatsportstv. Hit that big red button down below and hit the notification button. That way, when we go live, you will be notified. All right, let's hop into all of the buzz going on in the NBA right now, and we kick it off with Kyle Lowry because he's probably the most notable name who could get dealt prior to Thursday's deadline. According to Shams, the Miami Heat and Philadelphia 76ers are leading the pursuit for the longtime guard. And according to reports, there's a sneaky team in there. That's the Los Angeles Clippers. They do have interest, but they lack the salary cap space and assets to make a deal for a guy who's making more than $30 million. And multiple teams are going to be interested in the All-Star and NBA champion because even though he's on the back nine of his career, Kyle Lowry is still putting up All-Star-like numbers, 17.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds. He's dishing out 7.5 dimes per night, and he will get in your face defensively. He will not back down from anybody, and Kyle Lowry can pick your pocket. He's averaging more than a steal per night as well. And in the playoffs, remember early in his career when a lot of people thought Kyle Lowry was a postseason choke artist? Well, he's turned that conversation around because he's been a clutch playoff performer. 15.5 points per game. And you look at the numbers all across the board. Kyle Lowry, still one of the best point guards in the NBA, a two-way threat, and a guy who can be the ultimate leader for a championship team. You saw him do that a couple years ago with the Toronto Raptors. Here are my reasons why you just have to love Kyle Lowry and why contenders are in play for him. He excels in the pick and roll offensively. He's still a knockdown shooter, so he can make it rain from beyond the arc at a consistent clip. And the biggest reason why I love Kyle Lowry, he's got that North Philly mentality, baby. An alpha dog who ain't scared of anybody and is not scared of the moment. So you look at some of the teams that are interested in Kyle Lowry's services. Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers. According to those close to Lowry, he prefers Miami because of his friendship with Jimmy Butler. And can you imagine these two guys in the backcourt together? If there's a tandem I don't want to take on in a back alley brawl, it's Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler because they'll take you down, they'll beat you up, and they'll run away laughing about it. And what do the Raptors want back? It's going to take a haul because Lowry's still a really elite player. The Raptors, according to reports, would want Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson back in a trade. And to make a deal work, the Heat would have to include Goran Dragic in that deal because of money, because as I mentioned, Kyle Lowry is making more than $30 million, and he's set to be a free agent after this year. So I put together this trade idea, and I'm interested in what you all think. Now, I wouldn't make this trade idea, but I put it in the trade machine, and the financials do work. How about the Heat receive Kyle Lowry in exchange for Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero, and Avery Bradley? I totally understand it's a haul. Again, if I'm the general manager, I'm not making that trade. But the Heat made it to the finals last year, right? And they're playing hot basketball as of late. They could really use Lowry, and that's why they're interested in him. But let me know what you think. Who wins this trade? Type H for Heat and type R for the Raptors. Let's move on to Aaron Gordon now. So according to The Athletic, Aaron Gordon requested a trade from the Orlando Magic back in February. His name has been in rumor circles for a long time as well. Aaron Gordon is uber athletic. He can be elite defensively when he is locked in. But when you're in a place and in an environment like Orlando, it's tough to stay engaged defensively all of the time. As for the teams that are interested, the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors right now as we sit here on this Tuesday showing the most interest. Now, Aaron Gordon, since getting drafted 4th overall by the Magic out of the University of Arizona, has not turned into the superstar that a lot of people thought he was going to be. But we just popped up the numbers for you. He still can be a solid player. He's by no means elite, but he can hop on board a playoff contender, give that team an edge, and knock down some threes here and there. He's going to be an athletic force. And again, when he is engaged defensively, he can lock down the opposing team's number 1 or number 2 option. So this is what I want you to do. This is an interactive YouTube channel here at Chat Sports. This is your opportunity to join the show because we love getting your feedback and interacting with all of you. So rate your level interest in Aaron Gordon. Hop into the comment section and scale it for me from 1 to 10. Let's get to John Collins now, one of the most intriguing players for me on the trade market potentially. Now, the Atlanta Hawks receiving a bunch of interest for this young stud who's just about to enter his prime if he's not in it already. The Hawks receiving interest from a bevy of teams, including the Boston Celtics, the Kings, the Mavericks, the Pistons, as well as the Timberwolves. And the Hawks do have interest in Boston Celtics guard and leader, speaking of alphas, Marcus Smart. Now, what's in play here is that Collins turned down a monster extension from the Atlanta Hawks back a couple months ago. He's due to be a restricted free agent, and many believe that the Hawks will not match an offer made for John Collins, and he's going to be offered the max for sure. So if you're the GM of the Hawks, you're thinking, well, we don't want to lose a premier player for nothing, so do we trade him now while we can get value? What's also tricky is that the Hawks, after going on a skid with Lloyd Pierce as head coach, since they fired him, they went on a tear. They won 8 in a row before losing last night. And when you take a peek at the Eastern Conference standings, the Atlanta Hawks right down there in 5th place? What is going on? So Sixers at the top of the standings, and then the Hawks in at 5th. And after that, it's really jumbled. But the point here being is that the Hawks, if they think that they can make a run for the playoffs, and they think that they can build with this young core, with DeAndre Hunter coming back, with Trae Young, who kind of looks like a baby Steph Curry at times, do they hold on to John Collins and then offer him the max after this season? A predicament that the Hawks are in. We'll see what happens, but John Collins on the list of potential trade candidates. What would you do if you were running the Hawks? Or another team if you trade for him? Would you pay John Collins the max? If so, type M for max. If not, type O for overpay. So, probably all of you, hopefully you have the Chat Sports notifications on. Hopefully you also have the Woj notifications on. If you don't, we here at Chat Sports, we have you covered. We're going to bring you the latest. Speaking of Woj tweets, let's get to one. So he said, according to ESPN sources, the Heat and the Knicks, with some cap space entering this summer in the offseason of 2021, are reluctant to offer premium packages for Victor Oladipo, but markets developed of capped-out teams bidding with young player first-round pick combos. One thing's become clear. Houston is likely going to move on from Victor Oladipo prior to the deadline. This would be crazy for Oladipo. This would be his 3rd team in a single season, but like John Collins, he turned down a max extension, and he's not going to return to a team that just broke a 20-game losing streak. So if you're the Rockets, this is why you have to trade Victor Oladipo. He turned down that aforementioned extension, as I mentioned. He's going to be a free agent. He's going to sign elsewhere. You have to get value back. And isn't it a bad look that in that trade for James Harden, you got Victor Oladipo, and now you're going to let him walk? So this is why you have to trade him in order to get some players back. So here at Chat Sports, yeah, we cover the NBA as a whole, but we also have team-specific channels. If you haven't already done so, you have to subscribe to these channels because we're pushing out multiple videos every week, and we're bringing you the latest news, rumors, and trades going on all across the NBA, especially with the NBA trade deadline coming up. Lakers Report just surpassed 33,000 subscribers. Get us to 34. We're closing in on 15,000 subs for the Warriors. Help us get there. Mavericks closing in on 13,000. We have some work to do with the Celtics. We're at 4,500 subscribers. We love our Celtics fan base, but hey, hop on board, join the family, join the community, and subscribe to those Chat Sports team-specific channels. Let's move on to Norman Powell now. So on Chat Sports, we talked about Jeremy Grant being the most improved player for this season. Norman Powell has entered that conversation. According to reports, teams are expected to pursue Powell. And you might be thinking, he's just a bench option or a secondary option. No, this guy has been unbelievable of late, and he comes at an affordable price. He's a pending free agent with an $11.6 million contract, and he can be extended for next season. Check out what Norman Powell has done his last 15 games. No, you're not dreaming. Yes, this is real. 34.5 minutes per night, 25 plus points per game, and he's shooting north of 53%. And from beyond the arc, Norman Powell is making it rain. This is yet another player development story for the Toronto Raptors, who it seems like the Raptors and the Miami Heat, any player that they get their hands on, they develop them and they turn them into superstars. So because of Norman Powell's development, teams are expected to pursue Powell. And man, how about the Brooklyn Nets being one of those teams that are interested? That would be interesting. Should the Raptors trade Powell given his development and how he's played of late? Hop into the comment section, type T for trade and type K for keep. Few more players that we want to get to who could be on the trading block, and these are notable names that we want to pass along. Marvin Bagley of the Sacramento Kings, yes, he was picked ahead of Luka Doncic, but has shown some potential when he's been able to stay healthy. Spencer Dinwiddie is recovering from a partially torn ACL, but a lot of teams want him moving forward as well. And Lonzo Ball of the New Orleans Pelicans. You might be saying they're not going to trade Ball. No way. Possibly, because in future years, the Pelicans have to think about maxing out Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. That could leave Lonzo Ball on the outside looking in. So I'm new here at Chat Sports. This is my 4th week here. And already some of you have DM'd me on Twitter and Instagram. I love talking ball with the people, and I've had some people reach out to me. We've had some awesome conversations covering the NBA, talk a little football as well. So do me a favor, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram. The handles are the same for both. It's @Chase_Senior, and I look forward to hearing from you all.